Just finally today, let's talk sport. Move away from politics just for a little bit, although there's politics at the centre of this particular one. You may recall, I know you'll be well familiar, and listeners may recall that in recent times, over the last year or more, there's been some moves by the global swimming body, FINA, and also the International Rugby League body to exclude transgender participants from their women's sports on the basis of fairness. But it seems that Basketball Victoria hasn't been paying a lot of attention to that, and they're going in a different direction.
They are. And this is right on the heels of as well. Like, I think just to start off this conversation, I just want to mention to people that in Canada, there has been now a record broken by a man who's identifying as a woman. He has broken the record for a women's race. Now, what this means is that women will no longer be able to actually break records in that race because he has set the bar so high. So women are being excluded from their own sport. They are no longer able to win in some of these top sports. So what Basketball Victoria are saying that they're claiming they're committed to fairness, inclusion, and safety. But they're doing exactly the opposite because they're allowing natal males to compete in this semi-professional women's league. So not only are they setting the bar so high for you to get into a team, because we all know the biological and the physical attributes of a male are going to actually benefit them so much more in sport than a woman. So it's going to be harder for a woman to actually get in the team. And when you are playing a game like basketball and there is a collision, then the women are the ones who are going to come off second best. Yes. They're going to be the ones who get hurt. So there's women's opportunities in sport are actually being totally taken away from them and prejudiced against them because men are allowed to play now in these females competitions. So I find it just so frustrating. You talk to somebody like Deborah Lovely, who was the weightlifter, and she's just like infuriated that men now are taking the place of women in a sport that women fought for so long to actually have a place in. And yet now we have men who definitely have physical advantage over females, and so their size, their strength, their speed, their agility. It's why we have separate tennis competitions, so it's not safe and it's not fair for males to be allowed to compete against females in this way. And it's certainly, inclusion is a ridiculous word to use because we're certainly not including women anymore when we actually say, in terms of inclusion, we've got to include men, who then deter female athletes from even pursuing a career because they just think, well, I'm not going to even be able to make it on the team.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you think it through, because if you took that inclusion argument, you'd basically say, well, there are no gender-based sports at all. It's a free-for-all for anybody to participate in anything, and including to the point of, well, I'm actually not that good at basketball, but I should be able to play as well. Where do you stop here? And it seems to me the line should be fairly clear that it's based on your ability, and part of that is driven by your physical attributes.
Exactly, and so it is based on our ability, but we should have there should be a fair playing field. So my ability should be based on another woman's ability as well, not against a man who I will never be able to actually beat in terms of size, in terms of speed, in terms of strength. A man's body is built differently to a woman's, and so the strength is going to be more favourable to a man, and across the board. So, we do want an equal playing field, but that is woman against woman and man against man.
And that's Basketball Victoria who are doing that at the moment. I'm sure that if you're passionate about this, then you might like to get in contact with them. I know that the ACL are encouraging them in the opposite direction of where they're heading at the moment.